Hi, gang. It's Patrick.
And Adam.
Coming up on today's episode, we share some listener feedback and announce our Funko Pop Madame Leota giveaway winner. We cover the latest Disney news, and we give a full recap of our trip to Disneyland and Disney California Adventure for Gay Days 2019. As always, we close out the show with some quick D. All that and more on today's episode of Gays Do the D.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
Adam Chamomile Hummel.
Patrick Rosalita Kazuki.
Rosalita.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
I do too.
It's sexy.
Thank you.
I feel like I need to wear a big skirt.
I recommend it.
Thank you. Like a big Dia de los Muertos skirt.
Uh-huh.
That can just flap around.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. You're not feeling this. We're going to move on.
I think you would look beautiful in your big Dias de los Muertos skirt.
Your pronunciation is offensive?
Well, quite frankly, so is you wearing a skirt.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. How very dare you?
Okay.
So we just got back.
Yes.
From Disneyland.
We sure did.
We had so much fun.
We sure did.
You had such a great time hanging out with me.
Yeah.
You're welcome. We'll talk all about it later on in the episode.
We'll have a complete trip recap
It's
of
true.
all of our fabulous adventures in Disneyland.
Absolutely. And of course, we're recording early again this week on a Tuesday evening because you, Adam,
Yes.
are off on another trip.
I am.
You're a globe trotter.
Or just a domestic flyer.
You're a coast trotter because you're going to
coast trotter.
Orlando.
That's right. I consider myself bi-coastal.
I consider you by my side right now.
Yep, I'm heading down to Orlando on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, that will already have passed once
It's
this recording
true.
releases.
I don't understand how podcasting works. I'm just here for the coffee.
Regardless, I'm heading down to Orlando to go to Universal Studios,
Blaspheme.
Gays Do the U,
Okay.
to experience Halloween Horror Nights.
You are.
Yes.
You're skipping Disney altogether.
I am.
You're throwing some shade at the mouse.
It's just a quick little weekend trip, Friday to Sunday.
Well, I hope it's terrible.
I hope it's terrifying.
Terribly terrifying.
I'm sure it will be. I've only heard great things about the houses this year.
Good, good. I hope you bring a second pair of pants because you may need them.
I guarantee you I will not have a voice when I get back. But in our next episode, I'll just give a quick little trip recap to those who are interested.
That's not a lot. Not a lot of people. It'll be very quick, folks. Don't worry.
It'll be quick. It'll
Just
be quick.
Fast forward 5 seconds. You'll be fine.
Well, Patrick, we have some new listeners we need to recognize.
We sure do.
Andy, who you can find on Facebook at Andy Heath.
Andy Heath, that is my favorite candy bar.
Oh.
An Andy Heath bar.
Andy is from England.
Ooh.
And he's a puppeteer.
I love it.
You should check out his Facebook profile because he has some amazing pictures of puppets that I believe he's built and puppeted.
How very dare you insinuate I have not already checked them out.
Oh, okay.
They are beautiful.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. We also have to welcome Patrick, who you can find on Instagram at Patrick Allen Cole.
Ooh, that's a lot of information, Patrick. Everyone's
Yeah.
going to know exactly where to find you.
Patrick follows the Adam Hummel way of developing an Instagram handle, which is just Adam Stephen Hummel.
Mm-hmm.
Full name.
Steven. I thought it was chamomile.
No.
Oh,
Stephen.
I've been saying it wrong all this time.
Yeah, so you use your full name and then you follow it with your social security number.
Ooh, I like that idea.
Yeah, because you just want to be forthcoming.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just lay it out on the table
Yeah.
and everyone knows where you're coming from.
Yes. We also have Cole, who you can find on Instagram at Cole Hinesley. I want to
Okay.
say Cole Hinesley.
Sure.
And Cole is actually a cast member, Patrick.
What?
Who we had the pleasure of meeting in the parks. He works at DCA.
It's true.
And as we strolled in one evening, I believe it was for Oogie Boogie Bash,
I think as soon as we walked in the park, he noticed our shirts.
he snagged us and said, "Hey, I just started listening to your podcast."
We apologized immediately.
Yeah, so welcome to the GDTD family, Andy and Patrick and Cole.
Welcome, new Tweedledees. Speaking of new family members, Adam, we have not one, not two, not three,
What?
but 4 new patrons on our Patreon page.
4?
Yeah, 4 people are out of their minds and are giving us money. I love it. So excited. We have Paul, Damien, Sam, and someone who would like to be recognized as Toot.
Toot.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like it might be a lost boy from Peter Pan.
Oh, I love that.
Toot.
I hope that it is.
Yes, I hope it's not like a gastral issue.
Well, you never know.
Yeah.
We're not here to judge.
No.
We're just here to take your paychecks. So thank you so much, Paul, Damien, Toot, and Sam. We really appreciate it. For those who don't know, of course, we have a Patreon page in which you can donate any amount of money on a monthly recurring basis, and it all goes to our production expenses here at GDTD Podcast. So thank you in advance to any future Patreon patrons.
Yes.
And thank you so much to all of those who have already donated to us. It means the world to us.
Thank you so much.
Moving on, Adam, we have but one anniversary to celebrate this week.
One is the loneliest number that you ever knew.
It is a lonely number, but this movie is not lonely. It is part of an expansive canon of Disney classics.
Oh my gosh.
52 years old.
Yes.
As of October 18th, 1967.
Spill it.
It is The Jungle Book.
Oh, The Jungle Book.
I say this every time, all the Disney movies are my favorite movie, apparently.
Yeah.
Because this is also one of my favorite movies.
52 years old.
52 years old, such a classic, still holds up today.
Mm-hmm.
Love this movie.
It's just the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities.
We saw a lot of bare necessities at Gay Days. I'll tell you what.
We did. We also saw some bare accessories.
Oh.
Yeah.
And some bare unnecessaries. Don't you think?
I don't think any bear is unnecessary.
That's fair. Oh, is that on the rainbow flag somewhere?
That's right.
It's written there?
That's right.
No bears unnecessary.
That's right.
I like that phrase. So happy 52nd anniversary, The Jungle Book.
Did The Jungle Book have any henchmen in it, Patrick?
I don't know if you could call Ka a henchman, can you?
Ka was kind of like a solo agent.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Absolutely. I think they were just bad guys and no henchmen necessarily.
Yeah. Well, you know what did have henchmen?
What's that?
Our episode 2 episodes ago.
Look at you. Look at you.
So for those of you that don't know, in episode 55, we listed our Fab Five Henchmen, and we received some listener feedback on our lists and also some listener lists.
I love it.
Tony, who you can find on Instagram at Anthony of Agrabah, sent us his list, which includes The Magic Mirror from Snow White.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Smee from Peter Pan.
That's a good one because I put it on my list.
Yes. Pleakley from Lilo and Stitch. Nathaniel from Enchanted.
Ooh, that's a good one.
It is a really good one. And his number one choice was Kronk, Patrick, from The Emperor's New Groove.
Anthony, you are amazing. You are wise. And you are a wonderful artist.
Are you just saying that because Kronk was also your number one?
I am. Another Tweedledee and frequent commenter, Rodri at Rod Meets World, says, Jasper and Horace, 101 Dalmatians, even though they're idiots, they're still fun.
Jasper and Horace. I forgot about Jasper and Horace.
They are a delight and bumbling fools.
They are. And Rob, who you can find on Instagram at zippity-doo-dah-days, seconds that. He said, I want to second the vote for Jasper and Horace and add in Maleficent's unnamed henchman looking for 16 years for Aurora in, quote, all the cradles. But you nailed it that Kronk is number one. How does it feel to be validated like that, Patrick?
It's the first time it's ever happened. It feels new. It feels exciting.
Yeah.
It feels like you're not in the room.
Oh,
Validation.
what?
Validation.
I support everything you do except for the skirts.
Well, that's all that matters, Adam. That's all I've ever wanted is to hear you accept me for my dress code.
I accept your skirts.
Thank you.
So thanks, Tony and Rodri and Rob, for your feedback.
So before we move on, Adam, we should acknowledge that on Thursday, October 17th, is Spirit Day, which is an annual LGBTQ awareness day observed on the third Thursday every October. It was started in 2010 by a Canadian teenager named Brittany McMillan, who was responding to a rash of bullying-related suicides of gay students in 2010. So today, the movement is promoted by GLAAD, and observers wear the color purple as a sign of support for LGBTQ youth and to honor the victims of suicide from LGBT-related bullying. So this is something that is very near and dear to our hearts here at GDTD Podcast. A few statistics to help people understand why this movement is so important. 70.1% of LGBTQ students report being verbally harassed every year. 71% of LGBTQ students report hearing homophobic remarks from teachers or school staff because of their gender expression. 60.4% of LGBTQ students who did report an incident said that school staff did nothing in response or told that student to ignore it. And 59.5% of LGBTQ students feel unsafe at school because of their sexual orientation. These statistics are far too high for how far we've come today.
They really are, and it's an important reminder that there's still a lot more work to be done.
100%. And let's keep in mind, these numbers only reflect those who took part in surveys or felt safe enough to report incidents of bullying. As members and allies of the LGBTQ plus community, we owe it to everyone, including and maybe especially those who feel too unsafe to stand up for themselves, to support them. And you can do so by getting educated on the facts. You can go to glad.org for a plethora of resources. That's GLAAD.org. They also have a lot of educational resources for you to dig into. You can spread the word, use your voice in the community and on social media to let people know that you are a safe space and a resource for anyone in need. And of course, on October 17th, wear purple as a marker and a visual representation for those in need and as a vigil for those who have lost their lives. Like you said before, we've come so far, but the journey is far from over. So please, Tweedledees, listeners, friends and family out there, know that we are always here for you here at Gays Do the D. If you need a voice to carry your message or just an ear to listen to your story, please reach out to us. Our pride flags are raised and all are welcome here.
Very well said, Patrick. And if you do need to reach out to us, you can find us on social media at GDTD Podcast.
And you can always email us at info@gaysdothed.com.
So for next week's episode, Patrick, we're going to be giving our spoiler-free review of Maleficent, Mistress of Evil. So Tweedledees, if you're planning on seeing Maleficent, Mistress of Evil before October 19th, please send us your thoughts so we can share them on next week's episode.
I think this is going to be an interesting conversation, Adam.
I hope it's going to be a very fun and exciting conversation.
Oh, it'll be exciting.
I mean, I'm eager to see Angelina Jolie and Michelle Pfeiffer battle it out.
It's true. I want to see those cheekbones clash into each other.
Do you think there'll be sparks like when swords graze each other?
Yes, bones do that too.
They're going to be cheek fighting?
Mm-hmm. A lot of cheek cuts.
Do you think they have cheek stunt doubles?
I don't. I think they do all their own work.
All their own cheek work.
That's why they get paid the big bucks. So jumping back a couple of episodes, Adam, we have a giveaway to announce.
A giveaway winner to announce.
That's exactly right. We announced 2 episodes ago that we were giving away a Pop Funko Haunted Mansion 50th Anniversary Madame Leota. I might keep it for myself.
You can't. We know who the winner is.
We do.
Yes, and we should also mention that this giveaway was sponsored by Elevation Homes, who you can find on Instagram at Stay Elevated Orlando, and you can find them online at stayelevated.org.
Such beautiful properties, and this is such a beautiful giveaway hosted by them.
Thank you, Elevation Homes. We really appreciate it.
And thank you to everyone who entered our contest. We had a lot of responses from this one.
So many people entered, and only one can win.
I mean, Madame Leota, you can't really do better than that in the Halloween season.
That's true.
So, shall we announce our winner?
Let's do it.
All right, here's my little drum roll. Bing!
That was like a dog in a microwave.
That's exactly what I was going for.
Okay.
Oh, you knew. You're on my beam tonight.
Tell us who won, Patrick.
The winner is Ryan, who can be found on Instagram at Space Ranger Ryan.
Congratulations, Ryan.
Congrats, Ryan. I believe we already have your info.
We do.
So I'm going to hurl this across the country at you and hope you catch it.
And for those of you that didn't win, stay tuned because we have giveaways all the time.
We sure do. In fact, we have a consolation prize for all the other Tweedledees out there.
What's that?
The news.
Oh, the news.
You're welcome. Congratulations.
As everyone probably already knows, on Saturday, October 5th, the newly opened Disney Skyliner, a state-of-the-art gondola system connecting Disney's Hollywood Studios and Epcot to 4 Disney hotels at Walt Disney World Resort, experienced a malfunction in which one of the aerial cable cars became stuck in the air, forcing the entire Skyliner system to stop and guests to be stranded for hours.
I feel like this almost shut Twitter down.
Definitely Diz Twitter. Yeah. I mean, people were losing their minds.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to say, for a while, it was kind of scary because we didn't have enough information.
Yeah.
And the picture that was kind of circulating the most was the one of the gondolas that were kind of crashed together at the Riviera Resort.
Yeah, it looked really horrific for a second there, but
Yeah.
we weren't sure if that was just sort of, this is the angle that we got and it looks worse than it is. Who knows?
Fortunately, we have more information now. Disney released the following statement regarding the malfunction. Quote, "We have a team diligently looking into the cause of Saturday's malfunction on the Epcot line of the Disney Skyliner. We have been in contact with the guests, many of whom were on the Skyliner for more than 3 hours until we were able to restart the system. We express our sincere apologies for the inconvenience and continue to work with each guest individually." Luckily, Patrick, there were no reported injuries due to the incident, and on Sunday, October 6th, Disney confirmed that the malfunction was not due to a power outage. That same day, the Orlando Sentinel released an article in which Skyliner rider Chris Edenfield stated that Disney, quote, gave him 4 all-day park passes and a $200 gift card for his trouble.
Okay.
The company is clearly making concessions for the inconvenience that everyone experienced.
Oh, for sure, and rightly so. I mean, of course they are.
So during the incident, guests were encouraged to use the black box emergency kits available in each Skyliner car.
Which we didn't know they had until now, I imagine.
I did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Which Adam knew they had.
I think during some of the press previews, people were kind of digging around in the cars and they found them and opened them. And they include water, which is great.
Right.
They also include human waste containers.
Oh, boy.
So I would imagine for some of those people, like, can you imagine if you had boarded the Skyliner thinking I have a 5-minute trip to wherever I'm going? Mm-hmm. I can hold it.
Yeah.
And then whoopsie daisies.
Yeah, that would be me.
You're stuck there for 3 hours.
Yeah, sometimes I just pee in line while I'm
dear.
waiting for a ride. I can't hold it. I can't be held responsible.
Well, as of this recording, the Disney Skyliner is noted as, quote, temporarily closed on DisneyWorld.com. So there's no official word on when it's going to reopen or when the investigation will conclude into what actually happened.
This must be pretty devastating for Disney in general, but especially all of those who have been working on this project for years and years and years. And 1 week into it, this terrible news happens and they're getting such bad press over it. And a lot of people, I'm sure, are saying, well, that's it. That's a wrap on me ever going on that.
Yeah, I can imagine a lot of people aren't going to be clamoring to get on this now because they're worried they're going to be stuck in the air, missing out on their vacation.
For sure. But let's be clear. It's a Small World breaks down every 13 seconds. And you're stuck on it sometimes for an hour. It happened to me once and you get evacuated from it. And it's like, this is just sort of part of what happens with rides, right? They break down. Nothing is infallible. And I think that's what people just need to expect. Not that you want that to happen or that it should happen all the time, but there's always a chance that it can happen. That's just sort of what you're getting into when you go on a vacation that relies heavily on robotics, basically, to get you around.
I think Disney's public relations has a lot of work to do to kind of clean up this mess.
I'm sure there's a lot of cleanup to do on some of those gondolas as well after 3 hours. 2 of the latest recipients of a Disney grant will be using their dollars to invest in STEM programs for their students. For those who may not know, STEM curriculum blends science, technology, engineering, and math to teach 21st century skills to help students succeed in the workplace of the future. Disney has granted 2 nonprofits $100,000 each to introduce and expand STEM-focused educational opportunities to local youth. The Orlando Science Center will use their grant to bring their Head Start program to preschool kids in over 50 local education centers. And Pace Center for Girls will use their grant to bring a STEM program to their Orange and Polk County Learning Centers. Pace Center for Girls is a program that provides girls and young women an opportunity for a better future through education, counseling, training, and advocacy. Congratulations to both programs, and thank you for the work that you are doing in the very complicated world of education.
Does this make up for the Skyliner issue?
It does not. In fact, I imagine some of those engineers could have used this STEM program to avoid this catastrophe.
Yep, we need that next generation to fix the Skyliner.
Get on it, kids. Get on it.
According to an October 4th, 2019 Variety exclusive, a docuseries coming to Disney Plus, Disney's streaming service launching on November 12th, will give viewers a behind-the-scenes look at how popular Disney attractions and destinations came to be. Behind the Attraction will not only give details on the origins of attractions, but also explain how they have changed over time and explore the fandom surrounding them, including interviews with fans and Disney Imagineers.
This is very exciting.
Very, very exciting.
I'm going to be watching all of this probably in one day if it's released at the same day.
Well, there's 10 one-hour episodes that have been ordered, Patrick.
Okay, I'll take a day off of work.
The series is being produced by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's production company, Seven Bucks Productions, and the Nacelle Company, the production company behind the popular Netflix series, The Toys That Made Us. Have you ever seen that?
I have not.
It's really, really great. I encourage you to watch it.
Okay, let's stop recording now.
Okay.
Great. And we're back.
We know everything about Barbie.
I love it.
And Lego and everything. Yeah,
I feel
it's great.
so educated.
Dan Silver, Vice President of Originals Unscripted for Disney Plus, told Variety, quote, "Behind the Attraction is the quintessential Disney Plus project. Best-in-class storytellers collaborating across multiple Disney units to mine and pull back the curtain on our rich Disney history. This is going to be a special series."
Disney Plus, huh? What's that about? I haven't heard about that.
I am incredibly excited for this. I just love learning everything I can about attractions.
Yeah.
And if they don't have a Haunted Mansion episode in the first 10 episodes,
yeah.
I mean, come on.
I imagine they'll lead with that.
Yeah.
And they'll follow up with an episode on me.
You?
Yeah, Behind the Attraction.
I don't follow.
Don't do this to me.
What are you doing behind the attraction?
Oh, you know. You know what's going on. Adam, it's time for some cruise news.
Cruise news.
I love cruise news.
Sounds like a night out in San Francisco.
That's some booze cruise news.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Each year, Condé Nast Traveler releases its Reader's Choice Awards. This is one of the longest-running and most prestigious recognitions of excellence in the travel industry, with over 600,000 people voting and rating. This year, for the 8th consecutive year, Disney Cruise Line was selected as the #1 top large cruise line in the world. Disney's ships were rated the highest from more than 400 cruise ships across multiple brands. A quote from Disney Cruise Line president Jeff Volley: "Being recognized once again by the readers of Condé Nast Traveler is a source of great pride for our team, whether they make their magic on our ships, at our private island Castaway Cay, or behind the scenes. This award speaks to their commitment to always going above and beyond and making every guest's experience truly special." Beyond this award, exciting things, of course, are coming for Disney Cruise Line. In 2020, the Disney Wonder will set sail from New Orleans for the first time with a Princess and the Frog celebration, and 3 new ships are on the horizon in 2021, 22, and 23, with the Disney Wish making her debut as the 5th ship in Disney's fleet. The Wish will feature Rapunzel and Pascal on the stern and will hold 1,250 guest staterooms, making it slightly larger than the Dream and the Fantasy. To learn more about the Disney Cruise Line or to book your Disney cruise, visit disneycruise.disney.go.com.
When are we going to go on a cruise, Patrick?
Immediately.
That New Orleans cruise sounds fun.
I think that might be the one for me.
You think so?
I love all things New Orleans, all things Princess and the Frog. Of course, I would love to go see Castaway Cay.
Yeah.
Even though you port from there, I think it will go down to Castaway Cay.
Okay.
I'll have to investigate.
And then purchase a cruise package for me.
No.
That was abrupt.
As is our friendship, if you think that I'm going to do that for you. I don't know.
Come on.
Nope. In all honesty, on our trip to Disneyland, we heard from lots of people while we were waiting in line, just chatting up, and they all said Disney cruises are their favorite cruises, hands down. Of course, we were at Disney.
I was going to say.
That. So wait a minute. I'm rethinking the reputation that I have in store here.
No, I've heard that from people who are more fans of cruises than they are of Disney. And they still claim that the Disney cruises are the way to go.
Even folks without kids are saying that the Disney cruise is the best one to go on.
Yeah.
So let's all go, everybody. You can sign up for Patreon. GazeDoTheD.com. Thank you.
An October 8th, 2019, the Orange County Register article has announced that Disneyland will be testing a new centralized Fast Pass kiosk pilot program in Tomorrowland. The kiosks will distribute paperless Fast Passes in front of the Tomorrowland Theater for Space Mountain, Star Tours, and Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters, rather than the paper Fast Passes previously distributed at the kiosks located at each of the aforementioned attractions. Visitors not using the Disneyland app can take a photo of the Tomorrowland Fast Pass kiosk touchscreen with their smartphone to confirm the attraction return time. According to the article, the pilot program will gauge visitor usage of and reaction to the new centralized kiosk. The article also notes, Patrick, that with more visitors using Max Pass, the need for physical Fast Pass machines and paper tickets in Disneyland and Disney California Adventure continues to decline. Consolidating the Fast Pass kiosks into a central location in each themed land will preserve precious real estate in the parks. Disneyland officials say 85% of guests use the Disneyland mobile app while in the park. The new centralized kiosk pilot program in Tomorrowland is expected to open in mid-October, possibly October 15th. So I don't know if you saw when we were out there, but basically outside of each attraction that offers Fast Pass, there were several kiosks, right?
Yes, in fact, I tried to go into them to get on the ride many times.
You walked into the kiosks?
Well, there's like a section that says Fast Pass, and so every time I saw that word Fast Pass, I was like, here's where we go to get on the Fast Pass line.
I got it. Yeah, that made sense. I think it's so smart now to just say, here's the kiosks for this one land, as opposed to having all those locations, because Disneyland does need the space.
For sure, and let's be clear, they need to get away from using paper at all in the parks, because I saw those tickets littered everywhere, and it was a little sad to see, and I was surprised that California, of all places, was still using tickets.
Yeah, I think it's just something that's tough to change.
For sure, and I imagine they aren't making the shift to Magic Bands as Disney World did, otherwise they would have done it a while ago.
Right.
So this seems to be the next logical step of using your phone.
Yeah, I know they said 85% of guests use the mobile app while in the park. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're using FastPass. They're just on the mobile app.
Right.
So I'd be curious to know the percent of people that are actually using the FastPass system or MaxPass when they come into the park.
Good question. Good question. I'm sad for all those people who have a flip phone still. And this is the only reason why, because in Disneyland it won't work.
It seems a little odd to me that they're testing this. Like, why not just do it? Why not just make the change and be like, here's what's happening, rather than trying to gauge people's responses to it? Because I feel like some people might be like, but this is the way I grew up and this is what I know. Tough.
Sure. Probably to make sure that people aren't confused.
Figure it out. Figure it out, people.
You should work in customer service. Disney is offering a service for all of its guests who are simply too lazy to download their PhotoPass pics after a vacation. That's right. If you simply don't have the time to click download, you can now purchase a Disney PhotoPass Archive USB. This service is only available for guests with Memory Maker or a Walt Disney World annual pass with the PhotoPass benefit. At any point during or after or before your vacation, especially before your photos expire, you can go to disneyworld.com/photopass and purchase this USB, which will be sent to you with all of your photos loaded onto it. In addition to your vacation photos, Disney will also load over 400 iconic images from the parks that you can print and share at no additional cost. The Disney PhotoPass Archive USB will cost $34.99 and is available for purchase now.
I'm excited for everyone who's excited for this. But this feels like a step backwards to me.
For who? For Disney or for guests?
For the world.
Yeah.
Why? I don't know. Why?
Money.
Yeah,
they
money.
Want your money.
I got that, but okay.
It's for all those who just aren't very tech savvy, I imagine, who don't know how to do the download and move it into a folder and all that jazz.
Okay.
But it's not that hard, folks. You can email us at info@case2the.com and we'll walk you through it. Well, we will. Save that money. Send it to us instead. Here's the thing. I have to wonder why they're doing this now. Like, was there an influx of guests who were like, I don't know where my photos are. I don't know what to do. Because Memory Maker's been around for a while now.
Right.
I am confused what happened in the past year that they're like, there's a need for this.
Was it a bunch of confused meemaws and peepaws who were writing in saying, I don't know how to do it? Send me my photos.
Yeah, must be. They knew how to email, but they didn't know how to click that button that says download all.
That sounds about right, though, because they know how to forward you Russian hoax emails.
Yeah, for sure.
But they just don't know how to download their pictures from a mobile phone.
That tracks.
Okay.
That tracks. So in that case, I'm happy to let them spend $35 to do what a mouse click can do.
Uh-huh.
Good for you, folks. Good for you.
Do you think Disney's going to come up with containers that preserve your leftover food from your meals that can then be mailed back to you at your home for like $35?
I hope so. I would use that more than I would use this. It's $1 million idea right there. Adam.
Patrick.
Welcome back home.
Thank you so much.
I just saw you 2 days ago.
I know. Did you miss me?
I don't miss you.
Oh.
I do miss Disney.
Yeah.
I do miss Disney. We are back from Disneyland, my friend.
We are back. It was your very first time in Disneyland as an adult human being.
That's true. That's true. Although I identified as an adult when I was 7 years old.
Did you?
Yeah. I was wise beyond my years.
Baby genius.
I'm backtracking a lot now.
You're making up for it now.
Yeah, I'm Benjamin buttoning myself now.
Benjamin buttoning yourself right back to infancy.
Aw, baby Patrick.
Baby Patrick.
I knew you were going to do that as soon as I said it. So what do you say, Adam? We give our Tweedledees exactly what they want. 3 hours of us talking about our trip.
I don't think it's going to take 3 hours, is it? It better not.
I'm going for gondola time now.
Oh, okay. Skyliner time?
Skyliner, gondola stuck time.
Well, that's perfect because I have my human waste container right here beside me.
And you brought it full. I don't know why you did that. Just bring an empty one next time. Rude.
Yes, Patrick, we need to recap this trip because it was a trip to remember.
It's true. It's true.
And I had a fabulous time. I don't know about you, but I had a fabulous time.
I had an adequate time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Well, let's start with your overall impressions of Disneyland because, as I mentioned earlier, it was your first time visiting as an adult.
Mm-hmm.
So did you have any expectations going in? Were those expectations met? And what were your general impressions of the parks?
Well, over the past year, I've heard you talk about nothing but how Disneyland is better than Disney World.
That's not true.
Well, Tweedledees.
That's not true.
Check the receipts.
No.
Just kidding. No, I didn't know what to expect, to be honest. I mean, I've seen pictures. I tried to limit myself this time around on watching ride-through videos or any of that.
Yeah.
I had very vague memories as a child of some of the rides, and I have to say, I remembered almost nothing from being in the park.
Yeah.
All of it looked different. I didn't have any flashbacks. I didn't have any like, oh yeah, this looks really familiar.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a couple of moments on like the Alice in Wonderland ride. Or some very old nostalgic rides.
Yeah.
But the land itself, either it has changed drastically or I just simply was too young to remember any major details of it.
And you went pre-DCA, right?
Absolutely.
So it was just Disneyland at that point.
Just Disneyland. And here's what I'll say. It is absolutely beautiful. It is a wonderful, wonderful park. Both parks are very beautiful, very well kept, very Disney, very on theme. If you're looking for a compact Disney vacation, this is the place for you.
Did you get a sense of the history at all when you were in Disneyland?
For sure. Disneyland specifically has a very nostalgic feel to it. It feels like you're being hugged in the Disney magic. And I said this before, it's sort of like Disney World is a metropolis of Disney, whereas Disneyland has that hometown feeling of Disney, almost like you're living in the cartoons themselves.
That's very well said, Patrick.
Thank you.
So what do you say we kind of dig into our trip and get a little bit more detailed?
Yeah.
And I thought what we could do is we can kind of break it up into segments and not necessarily go day by day, but kind of talk about our favorite attractions, and then we'll kind of move on to our favorite food and treats and dining.
Ooh.
Maybe some seasonal things we experienced.
So many seasonal things.
Kind of break it up that way. Does that work for you?
I like it. Yes, absolutely. We'll think about it as lands. The food land, the attraction land.
Yes.
Seasonal land.
I want to live in Foodland forever.
Yes, I live in Foodland already. Let's be clear about that.
I'm the mayor of Foodland? All right, well, let's talk about our favorite attractions. Let's talk about rides specifically first. What rides really jumped out at you as your favorite during this trip?
Good question. I think all of the rides that weren't in Disney World stuck with me the most.
Yeah.
I'm thinking specifically like the Matterhorn.
Yeah, you loved the Matterhorn.
I absolutely love the Matterhorn. I can't wait to go on it again. It really resonated with me.
So when we rode the Matterhorn for the very first time, Patrick.
Day one,
I was sitting behind you. You were in the very front row. And I wish I had been recording your reactions to things because as anyone who's ridden the Matterhorn knows, it's not the most smooth experience.
No, it's not.
And so Patrick was reacting to every kind of jarring motion that the car made. And I was crying, laughing. It was fantastic. And I wish I had recorded that for the podcast.
It was a wonderful experience going on that ride for the first time, not knowing anything about it, not knowing any turn, any visuals I'm about to see. It was exhilarating and hilarious, and we went on it 5 times during our trip.
We did.
I really love that ride.
And that Yeti.
That Yeti, though.
It's scary.
It's frightening. It actually really is frightening.
The animatronic is amazing.
Yes.
But I'm talking in particular when you can't really see the Yeti. For instance, when you're first going up the incline and there's those ice walls there and you see him kind of attempting to break through to get to you.
Yeah.
And what's really scary is that kind of first turn in the dark when there's nothing going on. You're in complete blackness.
Yeah.
But you can hear him right beside you kind of groaning.
Sort of groaning and breathing and slamming on the walls.
Yes.
The sound effects are really good on that ride.
It's really great.
I love it a lot.
What other rides did you love?
That's it. Just the one.
Oh.
Everything else was garbage.
What a...
No, I'm kidding. Of course, I loved all of the dark rides in Fantasyland specifically. Disneyland's dark rides are on point. They are really nostalgic, and they're not afraid to actually be dark rides, very grim and sort of villain-focused.
Yeah.
I really loved that, and I especially, of course, loved Alice in Wonderland, as I knew I would.
It's your favorite movie.
It's my favorite movie. I think it was my favorite of all of the dark rides as well.
It's so immersive.
It's beautiful. And the new animation in them that you can tell that they've added recently is really fantastic. It adds a lot to what's already been built from day one at Disneyland.
There's also something really charming about the animatronics quirks. Like, for instance, when you're in the garden and the flowers are singing and you can hear their mouths kind of snap.
Yes, yeah.
There's something charming about that, those kind of old school attractions that still have those kind of unintended elements to them that are based on design.
For sure, yeah. I actually hope that Disney doesn't ever get rid of those rides because they're so charming that I think kids today will still love them, but adults especially will really latch onto them, as I did.
We also rode Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
Super fun. I remembered that one as well. I had very distinct memories of being on that ride.
Pinocchio.
Don't remember that one at all, but that was interesting.
It's a trip.
It's really dark.
Yeah.
I guess the movie itself is pretty dark as well, but it only attaches itself to the darkness of that movie.
Right. And of course, Snow White.
Yeah, the evil queen, though.
That witch really pops out at you at times and is terrifying.
Apples? Yeah, I actually jumped once or twice on that ride because I did not expect her to be right there, jumping or leering out from a sewer grate or whatever it was. It was like, what's happening right now? It was crazy. What about you? Any favorites for you, specifically in Disneyland? And then we can move over to DCA.
Sure. Well, I always love Indiana Jones.
Oh, of course.
Yes.
Which is basically the same track as Dinosaur in Disney World, right?
Yeah. I mean, what a thrilling experience. And as you mentioned, and rightly so when we were there, the sets alone are incredible on that ride. When you enter that main chamber, it's like you're in a movie, an Indiana Jones movie.
Oh, it's beautiful. It must have taken them forever to build that.
Yeah, it's very Temple of Doomy, and I'm into it.
Yeah, for sure. I was trying to think what do I like better, this track or Dinosaur better? But they're both such different rides that I didn't like either one of them better. They both just had their pluses and minuses, I guess. But they are both really fun rides, and I wouldn't compare them at all.
I also love Pirates in Disneyland.
Yeah.
Specifically more than Disney World.
Oh, okay.
Just because I believe the story is a little bit more expanded and kind of a more complete story.
Sure.
I think that it's clearer what's going on, that, at first you're experiencing the skeletons, then you kind of actually go back in time into the world of the pirates. And I like the longer ride experience, too. I like going through the bayou.
Yeah, that's pretty.
And I like being inside the pirate ship at the end before you make the incline back to the exiting area.
Other than the beginning of the ride, and I guess at the very end of it, I didn't notice too much difference.
Right.
Like you said, there are some added scenes, but the bulk of the ride is pretty much identical to the one in Disney World. But you're right, the ads that they have for this one are better. Not better, they're just different.
Some other classics that I really love in Disneyland, Big Thunder Mountain. I love Big Thunder Mountain out there with the dynamite scene inside the cave.
Yeah, it's a really fun add to that ride as well. Like I said, kind of like with Pirates, beyond that, I didn't notice a difference in the ride at all, which is fine because it's a great ride, a classic ride, and it doesn't need much more plussing.
I also love Space Mountain out in Disneyland because I can ride it.
Yeah, for sure.
It's more smooth. And I was surprised because I was expecting Space Mountain Ghost Galaxy, but while we were there, it was still Hyperspace Mountain.
Yeah, I wonder why they did that.
My guess is that because the Halloween party this year has moved over to DCA, they're just not doing Ghost Galaxy, maybe?
That could be because there wasn't much in Disneyland other than the Main Street decorations that were themed out to be Halloween, I guess, except for Haunted Mansion, of course.
Right, which we'll talk about in a little bit.
Yes, absolutely. You know what ride I actually really loved, or I guess experience instead of ride, was the Storybook Canal that we were on.
Yeah.
I thought that was so charming.
Yeah.
And nostalgic, and it really, you felt like you were in Disneyland on day one.
And a little fun kind of glimpse behind the curtain we were given was that one morning a cast member was there cleaning between Monstro's teeth because I guess spiders make webs up there overnight, and they were making sure that all the spiders were out of his teeth so they wouldn't fall on the guests.
Terrifying. And thank you for doing that, Disneyland cast members.
That is the Storybook Canal Boat's Halloween overlay. It's just spiders falling on you from Monstro's teeth.
That would terrify every inch of my body, for sure.
We rode the original Small World out there.
We did, which I really loved. I thought it was beautiful. I don't know that I like it better than Disney World. I know a lot of people really prefer the Disneyland one. And I do like the ads of the characters.
Yeah.
But I did think there were some scenes or just some props or set designs in Disney World that are a little more opulent.
Sure.
And I like that better. So the rides themselves were kind of the same for me, but the outside, the building itself of It's a Small World is absolutely beautiful.
It is incredible. Yeah, it's beautiful.
I really love it. Yeah, it's so picturesque.
So before we move on to talk about DCA's attractions, let's also talk about Fantasmic. Patrick, what did you think about Fantasmic in Disneyland?
I loved it. It was so beautiful and so fun. It's nice being so close to it.
Yes.
You're kind of on top of it right there in Disneyland. Where is it? Sort of in New Orleans Square area?
Right in front of New Orleans Square, right in front of the Rivers of America, yeah.
That's right. And we did the dining package, as you did before, which is a really smart idea because you get really prime optimal seating for that.
You do. What did you think of the differences in the show?
I like both shows pretty equally. I have to say, there's something really lovely about Disney World's being on that mountain.
Yes.
It's so framed really well, and there's not a bad seat in the house. You can see every single thing, which I really liked, and I really love the Pocahontas part of that show.
Yeah.
But there was something a little plussed about all of like the costuming and the lights and just the flow of the show that worked a little bit better. I'm thinking specifically like in Disney World when the apes come out on the raft. They're in these sort of like spooky town costumes that you can get for $3 that glow in the dark.
Yeah.
Whereas in Disneyland, they're like really beautiful costumes that move really well, and they're playing with King Louie, and you can tell that they put a lot of time and energy into them. And it makes those apes in Disney World, like I said, look like they were purchased for $3. But beyond that, like the story is pretty much the same.
It is, yeah.
There's a couple of differences here and there, but I think that both have really wonderful things to offer. I guess if pressed against a wall, I would rather see Disneyland's again because the visuals of it are just a little bit more refined. And the dragon's really beautiful, too.
The dragon is beautiful.
It's really cool.
And your girl Rapunzel's in it, too.
And Rapunzel's in it, so that helps. That helps. But I did miss the big mountain that Mickey sort of ends the show and starts the show on.
Sure.
There's something really iconic about that.
Absolutely.
That I missed.
Yeah. We also got the chance to experience Mickey and the Magical Map while we were in Disneyland. What did you think of that show?
Loved it. I think this is hands down my very favorite Disney show that I've ever seen.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was really outstanding.
Yeah.
Live singers who are so talented.
Yeah.
Insane. Really amazing dancers. Beautiful special effects. It's very short as well, so you're not sitting for very long. And we didn't wait for very long for the show to start either. And they offer, I think, 4 or 5 shows a day.
That's right.
While it's playing.
Yep.
It doesn't play every day. I think it's like Wednesday through Sunday or something.
I think it's Friday through Sunday.
Okay, we can't be bothered to find out the facts for you folks. Look it up.
At least during the fall. Who knows what happens in the summer when the kids are out of school?
Oh, that's true. That's true. But yeah, I really love this show. What did you think of it? You've seen it before, haven't you?
I've seen it once before.
Okay, what do you think of it?
I still love it. The 2 times I've seen it, Pocahontas in particular has kind of blown me back with her voice. Like
she was outstanding.
Fantastic. That number in particular, the trio of women, it's
Yeah.
Pocahontas and Mulan and Rapunzel again. And Flynn. Flynn, for some reason, makes an appearance too.
Who had a wonderful voice.
Yeah, you were noticing more than his voice.
I sure did.
I believe you were using the zoom feature on your camera.
Yeah, he offered the full package that I'm looking for in a man.
But that trio or that quartet, I guess, the harmonies that they create are phenomenal.
And it looks like, and of course it does, I mean, they're professional actors, but they keep it so fresh.
Yeah.
You know, we saw maybe the second or third show that day, and they were not tired. They gave us a full performance that I would expect to see on opening night.
And there's a great message behind that show. I mean, that's not unexpected in a Disney show.
Sure.
I got a little misty, I have to admit, when Mickey, spoiler alert, says to the black blob on the screen, you know, you can be whatever you want to be. You should just be yourself. And, you know, it's a really tender, sweet message that it delivers.
It's really, really lovely. And there are some effects that we were like, wait, what's happening right now?
Yes.
There was a moment where Mickey turns from an animation into real life there in front of you. And we both were like, wait, when did that happen? When did he appear all of a sudden? It was true magic.
And we had no cocktails at that point.
It's true. We were in Disneyland. There are no cocktails.
All right, let's move over to DCA. Let's talk about some of DCA's rides and attractions.
Yes, please.
What stuck out to you as some of your favorites there?
Well, I have to say, I really, really loved, and this is not unexpected, the Incredicoaster.
Oh, yeah. That was the first ride we went on.
It's true. It is so good. It's just as thrilling as you want it to be and adorable as well.
Yeah.
The Incredibles are so fun. Jack's voice is amazing. The little pluses they added throughout the roller coaster ride are really beautiful and well done. And they didn't go too heavy-handed on it. It wasn't like in your face all the time. You could still enjoy the ride without worrying that you missed a visual. It was really well done.
We were fortunate to have been there for several days, so we got to experience Incredicoaster at day and at night. But for those listeners that may not have that opportunity, if you can, try to make your experience riding that ride in the evening or at night, because there are some special effects that really are enhanced in the darkness.
That's a good point. Of course, the line tends to be a little bit longer at night, but it's worth it. I'm telling you right now, it's worth it.
What did you think about Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout?
I really loved this ride. I'll say something controversial to myself even. I liked it better than Tower of Terror. Yeah, man.
Patrick.
Well, here's something. Tower of Terror scares the daylights out of me.
Sure.
I do not like heights. I do not like dropping. I do not like being shot in the air.
Right.
None of those things appeal to me. But the theming on Tower of Terror is really beautiful, and so that's why I go back for it.
Yeah.
And I like being scared, you know.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things. But this overlay is so well done. Joe Rohde has peed all over this ride in such a good way. I did as well on the ride itself. No, but you can really, we were saying this in line, that you can tell that he helped create this change in the ride because it just got that Joe Rohde touch to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a good touch.
It's a great touch.
Not a bad touch. Good touch.
It's a really good touch. And I love that you sort of never know what's happening on the ride. It just starts immediately.
Yes.
And launches you in the air or drops you, depending on where you're starting from. And it doesn't give you time to get scared. You're just kind of scared the entire time. The film that's in it as well is really cool and fun to watch and hilarious. And just everything you want a Guardians of the Galaxy ride to be.
I just can't stop laughing on this ride. Like, the minute it starts, it's like an energy boost. And I am laughing, crying, laughing.
For sure.
It's so fun.
Absolutely. And I'll say this again about the ride is that loved Mission Breakout. I like Monsters After Dark. Is that what it's called?
That's right. Yeah.
I like that one even better.
I do too.
I think that's a better version of this ride.
I do too. I like the original score behind it. And the story was more simplistic and easy for me to follow.
Yeah.
There wasn't dialogue when you'd stop at certain floors.
Sure.
It was just like you knew they were just running from monsters, basically.
Sure. It's funny that you say score because I am screaming so loud that I don't notice that there's music happening at all.
It was kind of like a rock tune, bro.
I imagine it
a
would
rock
be.
Tune.
I like your... no, I don't like it at all. Never mind. We, of course, went on Mickey's Fun Wheel.
Yes.
An iconic centerpiece, I would say, of DCA.
I think it's called the Pixar Pal Around.
Oh, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
I like Mickey's Fun Wheel better.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's his face up there.
And just the term fun wheel arouses me a little bit.
Oh, dear.
That ride did not arouse me, though.
You were a little bit scared on it.
I was scared. It's real high.
Real high.
We were very high on that ride.
How thankful were you that we did not go on the swinging carts?
I should verify. We were very high in the air on that ride. I just want all of our listeners to understand some truths. Let's not get it misconstrued. I was very glad that we didn't accidentally get on the swinging part of it.
Yes.
Because I've heard that people do that sometimes.
Yeah.
They get accidentally on the swinging version of that ride.
I can't imagine.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
I mean, I think I would feel alive getting off of it.
Yes.
But I don't think I would do well while it was happening.
I will try it at some point, I think. I know that you very much did not want to do that part of it, and I didn't really either at that point of the day. But I think if I was with people who were super into it, I could get myself on it, and I would utilize those barf bags. At least I'd have it at the ready. If you've got a good camera, this is the ride for you to go on because you're going to get some really good pictures of DCA and a little bit of Disneyland as well. You can see them do it. Of course, there's The Little Mermaid, which we don't really need to talk about. It's exactly the same.
It is.
As the ride in Disney World, which is a great ride.
Charming.
But there was no difference whatsoever other than the queue is very short.
Right. Yeah.
I really liked Monsters, Inc.
Yes, Mike and Sully to the rescue.
It's so cute and delightful.
Yeah.
And sort of a hidden ride. It's sort of tucked into their version of Hollywood Studios.
That's right. It's right in the back corner of Hollywoodland.
It's almost like they're hiding it away from people.
I think it used to be Superstar Limo, so I think they probably were hiding it away from people.
Gotcha. But I think it's worth a spin. I like it.
One thing we didn't get to experience while we were there was Frozen. Frozen was down while we were there.
It's true. I was very sad about that.
But we did get to experience World of Color, Patrick, the nighttime water show at DCA. What'd you think of World of Color?
I'll tell you what, I cried once during that show, and it was for the entire show.
Isn't that a beautiful show?
It's outstanding. It's really beautiful.
I must be on a Pocahontas kick because, again, the Pocahontas section was incredibly moving to me.
Really, it's the best part, I think, of that show in general. But the whole show is outstanding. It makes me wonder what Disney World is doing with their water show because they're not doing this.
You're talking about Rivers of Light at Disney's Animal Kingdom?
I sure am. Even the water projections in Fantasmic in Disney World are not as good as this.
That's true.
So I don't know what the misconnection is there, but take a note from World of Color because it's outstanding what they're doing there.
And not even just in the moments that are IP related, but just in the abstract colors they're projecting, the shapes they're projecting.
Oh, yeah.
Anytime the water shoots up 200 feet in the air, it's like my breath is taken away. It's so gorgeous.
Absolutely. It's really crazy how they are able to manipulate the water and the light at the same time to create these shapes and movements that you didn't know were possible with water and light. It's amazing. It's so simple when you think about it, but it's extravagant.
Well, let's move on to some of our favorite foods and treats and dining that we experienced.
Yes, please.
So we need to talk about Lamplight Lounge at DCA, our home away from home.
We're in Foodland now.
Yes.
Yeah, we were there 78 times.
I think so. I think it was 78 times.
Roughly, yeah.
You were introduced to the lobster nachos.
Oh, boy, was I.
Those are delicious.
I think I'm married now to them. We had some moments together.
You sure did.
Ooh, so good.
It got really uncomfortable for me.
That's fine. That's fine by me.
A third watching.
Oh, yeah, there was some PDA happening there.
Debauchery. And we should let people know, if you've never had the lobster nachos at DCA, they are entirely splittable. They give you a huge amount.
It's enormous.
If you don't want a full meal, order the lobster nachos and split them between 2 people, or maybe even 3.
Who can say?
Yeah.
I would eat it by myself.
We also had the chicken sandwich with malted fries there one day for lunch.
I don't love fries, and these fries were really... I ate the whole thing. They were delicious.
Excellent, yeah. And we had so many cocktails there, Patrick. All the cocktails.
I don't know if we had that many. We had 2 each time.
Okay, and then I had some wine.
It's true. I don't love a lot of cocktails. I'm not a sugary drink kind of person.
Yeah.
So I tried one of their cocktails and it was fine.
Yeah.
But I stuck to mostly beer while I was there, I think. And their beer selection is pretty good.
And the setting alone, too, is worth mentioning. There is the upstairs kind of patio bar area, which is very nice. But then there's the kind of downstairs indoor lounge.
Yes.
Which is very, very nice. And then jutting out from that is kind of a, what would you say, almost like a dock or a boardwalk?
Yeah, you're on a pier almost.
A covered pier with banquette seating, low couches.
Yeah.
And we had cocktails and a snack there one day, and it was so pleasant just to be sitting down there with a nice breeze.
Yeah, it was lovely. It was a perfect moment out of the sun with really delicious food, some good drinks, and some good company. It was really lovely. There are, like you said, there's 3 different locations that you can sit there, and all 3 are offering beautiful views and very relaxed setting.
You already mentioned that we took advantage of the Fantasmic dining package. We had dinner at the Blue Bayou. And we should let people know right out of the gate that the dinner package for Fantasmic dining is $75 for adults and $35 for children ages 3 to 9, tax and gratuity not included. And the dining package guarantees you VIP seating with mats. They give you mats because in Disneyland you are sitting on concrete, essentially, while you're watching the show.
That's right.
What did you think of the Blue Bayou dining package? Was it worth it?
Hard to say. I really loved the ambiance.
Yeah.
This is the restaurant that you go through on the Pirates of the Caribbean ride before you get into the actual ride itself, which is really cool to see all those people going by. And it makes a really lovely soundscape as well.
Yeah.
It's a little dark. I did have a little trouble reading the menu.
Well, you're old, too.
It's true. I was going to say, I was playing a little trombone with my glasses there. But it was really beautiful there. The food, based on what we ordered, was fine. I didn't think it was my favorite meal in Disneyland, but it was our most expensive meal in Disneyland.
Yes.
So hard to say whether it was worth it or not. What about you? What did you think?
I liked it. So we both had the surf and turf.
We did.
And I thought the steak was fantastic.
Yes, I don't normally eat steak, but I really liked this steak.
I'm the same way. The surf was not as good.
It was a lobster tail.
Yeah.
And I usually always order lobster if I see it on a menu.
Right.
I would never recommend this lobster.
It was dry, and that was disappointing because when I had the Blue Bayou package a year ago, it seemed like it was more substantial.
Oh.
And I remember the lobster being very succulent.
Okay.
So I don't know if we were just there on an off night or something was wrong with it, but it just seemed dry and kind of puny.
Yeah, it could be. Who knows? I mean, seafood in general can be very finicky based on seasonality. So, who knows?
But we also had a delicious golden beet salad. That was good.
That was really good.
And we both had the opera cake for dessert, and that was also very good.
It was good. I didn't love it.
Okay.
I had a lot of snacky desserts in the parks that I loved a lot better than this cake.
For sure. Yeah. I would say if you haven't experienced Fantasmic and want priority seating, VIP seating for it,
yes,
absolutely take advantage of this. There are also 2 other restaurants in the park that offer you a Fantasmic dining package that are more affordable if you're willing to give up that kind of VIP view of the show.
Yes, the Blue Bayou of the 3 restaurants that offer this package will get you the closest to Fantasmic.
Yes. We also experienced Goofy's Kitchen, Patrick. For breakfast one day, we went to Goofy's Kitchen.
We sure did. This was my favorite dining experience of the trip, I think.
Really?
I mean, Lamplight Lounge, of course. That's just a no-brainer.
Yeah.
But the food was great.
Surprisingly good.
Yeah. The character interactions were the best I've seen almost anywhere in the parks.
I mean, we had one of the first reservations of the morning.
Yes.
And the characters were all over us.
Absolutely.
And it was delightful.
It was amazing. Goofy was hysterical and charming and lovely. Minnie Mouse gave us her Minnie Mouse sass.
Sassafras.
Loved it. Was it Chip or Dale who serenaded us?
Dale serenaded us.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay, Chip, Dale, whoever it was, write into us. Let us know.
You can reach out to us on social media.
That's right. No, it was super, super funny. They were hysterical.
Yeah.
Dale, like we said, serenaded us. He was sort of doing lyrical dances to all of the Disney songs that were playing.
Yep.
It was hilarious.
Yep.
And then the food was really, really good.
Yeah, so it's buffet.
Mm-hmm.
And the options they give you are almost too much to comprehend. You don't really know where to go. There's so many food offerings.
It's a quirky buffet a la Goofy, I think. Like you could find macaroni and cheese and waffles and bacon and pizza.
Yeah.
All of it really good, though.
Yeah, it was delicious.
It was very delicious.
And all of the desserts you could ever possibly want.
Like 3 tables of desserts.
That's my kind of buffet.
Yeah, it was amazing. I had the peanut butter and jelly pizza
for
breakfast. Delicious.
Yes.
Surprisingly delicious. We should mention while we were there, this was just a moment where you were like, yep, cast members at Disney are really good at their job. We were wondering about the Frozen show, which turned out to be closed that day, what time it was going to play. We weren't quite sure. And not 1, not 2, but 3 separate cast members were looking into it for us and all gave us updates throughout the breakfast.
Yeah.
We were like, I don't know. I thought it was playing today, but turns out it's seasonal right now, and so it's not open on the day that we were there. It was just really fantastic that they all cared enough to look into it and to follow up with us really promptly.
That Disney level of service.
It's second to none.
We also got to experience Oga's Cantina, and I just realized, Patrick, we didn't even talk about Galaxy's Edge, but we both been.
Oh, sure, yeah.
You've been to the Galaxy's Edge in Disney World. I've been to Disneyland previously.
Yes.
But this was your first time experiencing Oga's Cantina in Galaxy's Edge.
That's right. I was not able to get in on my Disney World trip, but you snagged us 1,000 reservations for it on this trip, one of which we used.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
So what did you think of the Cantina, before we talk about the drinks, just the kind of atmosphere?
Sure. It's really fun. It is exactly what you would think the Cantina in Galaxy's Edge would look like. It's very Star Wars. There weren't as many characters as I wanted. In fact, there are no characters. There's the one, what's his name? The robot DJ.
Rex.
Mm-hmm. And then, of course, the bartenders are dressed up in their Galaxy's Edge couture. It was lovely. Mm-hmm. It was fun. It was exciting. It's pretty loud in there. It's a bar atmosphere. There's very little seating. Most people are standing at these sort of tables or at the bar itself, which is fun. I think it lends itself to you're not here for long.
Yes.
You're here for a quick drink and then be on your way.
That's right. So, Patrick, you had the Fuzzy Tauntaun, which, if you've had the Fuzzy Tauntaun out there, you know what Patrick's about to say. But, Patrick, tell us about the Fuzzy Tauntaun.
What on earth happened in my mouth? And I've said that many times in my life.
Oh, dear.
And this time I really didn't know what was happening in my mouth. I had no idea. It's almost as though they put something in there that everyone on the planet is allergic to. And we're all willing to poison ourselves just a little bit.
Yep.
For a Fuzzy Tauntaun drink at Star Wars Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah, but it tastes delicious.
It does. Once you get past your lips fully being numbed and your taste buds regrow, you're able to taste a very like a pineapple-y kind of punch drink.
Yeah.
And it's really delicious.
You also had the Dagobah Slug Slinger.
I did have that. And it was a drink that I had in Oga's Cantina.
I think both of our first drinks were more of our favorites than our second drink. Because I first had the Outer Rim, which is basically like a margarita, and I love the margarita.
And an Outer Rim.
I also love an Outer Rim, that's true. And then the second drink I had was the Jedi Mind Trick, which I liked less.
Yeah, that was fine.
And then as a snack, we got the Batu Bits.
Worth it.
Yeah.
This is only, what was it, $8?
Yeah.
And you get a lot, actually, and they're really delicious. Some of it is sort of what you would expect to see in a pub mix.
Yeah.
You could maybe get it at Costco.
Sure. Yeah.
But a lot of it was really unique. The shapes and the textures that they were using was really inventive and tasty at the same time.
I was surprised that it was a sweet and savory mix. I wasn't expecting the sweet element to it.
And spicy because there were wasabi peas in there as well. So it was a really interesting blend of flavors that I fully recommend getting while you're there. It's so affordable, and we left feeling pretty satiated.
Except we didn't, because then we went to Docking Bay 7 Food and Cargo.
It's true. Then we had a full meal after that.
This was after we went on Smuggler's Run.
That's right. We did single rider for Smuggler's Run, so we were in and out within like 25 minutes, which is a really good idea, y'all.
And then we ate at Docking Bay 7 Food and Cargo.
Yeah.
And I had the Felucian Garden Spread, which was a vegetarian option, possibly even a vegan option.
I think it was vegan.
And that is based off of listener Bethany's recommendation. You can find Bethany on Instagram at Bethany Likes Books. And it was really, really tasty. I loved it.
Yeah, this was surprisingly delicious for it being a vegan meal at Disney.
Right.
And we reported before that they were unleashing hundreds of new dishes throughout the parks, and this is one of them. I think this was on their menu all the time.
Right.
But it was part of their journey to get more vegan-friendly foods in the parks, and well done. They hit it out of the park with that one.
And what did you have at Docking Bay 7?
So I basically had a chicken Caesar salad, but it was called the Roasted Andorian Tip Yip Salad.
That's a mouthful.
It was a mouthful. Those tip yips.
Was it good? Did you like it?
It was very good.
I remember the chicken being really good. You gave me a bite. Thank you.
It was. It's really big, too, and so it's really filling for a chicken Caesar salad. And some interesting flavors in there. I think there was a little, like, it's like a cinnamon flavor to it.
Interesting. Yeah,
it was. They do classic meals there, but they add their own little Star Wars twist to it.
Right. And you also were nice enough to get us a Batuban.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Which we were both like, I couldn't possibly touch that, but then it was gone.
It was really good. It was really good.
It was a chocolate cake with white chocolate mousse and coffee custard.
Delicious. I think it was only like $3.50 or something. It was pretty cheap.
$6.99.
It was only $6.99, folks. I was drunk at the time. I don't remember. Just kidding. No. But yeah, it was really good. Worth it if you're a chocolate lover.
Absolutely. And wrapping up our dining experiences was Cafe Orleans for lunch one day.
Sure was.
And Patrick, you had the Bourbon Street Chicken. And you really seem to enjoy that.
I loved it. I cleaned the bone, basically, off of that Bourbon Street chicken. It was so tasty, and the sauce was perfect.
It was upsetting to watch.
The red beans and rice were really delicious in that, too. And the vegetables that came with it were outstanding. The little carrots that came with it.
Yeah.
And I can't remember if it was beets or I can't remember what it was. But no, it was Brussels sprouts.
Oh, yeah.
Which I was like, ooh, these are not going to be great.
Yeah.
But I ate the whole thing.
And I had the Monte Cristo.
The classic.
And it was delicious as always.
I had a bite of it, and it was really good. Usually I think of a Monte Cristo. Cristo or Crisco?
Cristo.
Well, Crisco, maybe.
Maybe.
And I think it's going to be so heavy that I'm going to poop my pants right after it.
Yeah.
I didn't poop my pants.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, so that's a success.
I'm also always concerned that it's going to be super greasy.
That's exactly right.
And this was not. It's very light.
Mm-hmm.
Delicious.
Yeah, man.
All right, Patrick. So that was our food adventures.
Ooh, food
in the
adventures.
parks. Yeah.
Well, that was some of our food adventures.
Some of our food adventures.
We're not going to talk about all of it because
there was some other things that happened. Like we did have churro toffee.
we had churro toffee.
We had some cookies.
I had a macaroni and cheese hot dog.
Yep, you sure did.
Things happened on this trip, and no one needs to know about it.
I wish there had been a live feed of our hotel room when we got back each night because there was always some kind of treat. I'd like say that like there's one treat that we had.
Yeah.
It was usually like 3 or 4 treats that we downed before we went to bed.
We were joking that maybe our Patreon members will get like a Big Brother cam for after the parks when the real mess happens.
Yeah, you get a sneak peek into our messy lives.
Oh, dear.
Let's talk about some of the seasonal offerings we experienced.
Yeah.
So let's start with the Haunted Mansion Holiday, Patrick.
Oh, yes, please.
This is the Nightmare Before Christmas overlay in the Haunted Mansion in New Orleans Square.
Yeah, it is extravagant. It is head to toe dressed up in Nightmare Before Christmas. Not an inch of that ride is untouched. It's really outstanding what they do.
Did it feel odd to you to be in the Haunted Mansion with a completely different story, or were you so into it that didn't matter?
I knew what to expect when I went in there.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah.
I didn't go there hoping to see the Haunted Mansion and then being surprised by this. And so I think that helped me just get into the holiday spirit, as it were.
Yeah.
And I really loved it. I will say, if I were spending thousands of dollars on a trip to Disney World and I wanted to see the classic Haunted Mansion, I would be a little disappointed that I didn't get to see the Haunted Mansion. But it makes sense that they do it in Disneyland because, as we've said before, it's more of a locals park.
Sure.
People aren't necessarily traveling from different countries to Disneyland as they are to Disney World. So it makes sense that they do it in Disneyland and not Disney World.
Sticking with Nightmare Before Christmas,
Yeah.
we also got to experience the Oogie Boogie Bash.
Yes.
So this year they moved Mickey's Halloween party over to DCA, and they turned it into Oogie Boogie's Bash. And so we got to experience elaborate treat trails. Patrick,
Oh,
talk
yeah.
about the treat trails.
They were amazing. It's not your average treat trail where you just go through and get candy and you leave. At the end, or I guess in the middle of each treat trail, they have a live character, a villain, talking to you and interacting with you. And there's really beautiful lighting and a really great soundscape that goes with it. It was a really nice ad that I hope they continue and I hope was popular enough for them to keep it there.
It really made the treat trails more than just about the candy. I mean, the candy's great too, but to experience those characters was such an added benefit to the party.
Yes, and the characters that we saw were on point. They pulled no stops on the design and the costuming and the scripting and the improvisation that they were doing as well. It was really, really well done.
We have to give a shout out to the woman playing Maleficent.
Oh, boy.
And in fact, if you want to see her, she's in our archived stories from this trip on our Instagram feed at GDTD Podcast. She had the voice, she had the laugh, she had the mannerisms. She was perfect.
Absolutely perfect. Well done.
We also got to experience the parade. What'd you think of the parade? Now, you've seen the big parade at Walt Disney World. You've been to the Halloween party there.
Yes.
This is a smaller parade.
It is. It's truncated a little bit.
Yeah.
It's really great, though. They have a wonderful soundtrack that goes with it that, if I'm wrong, someone let me know. I believe it is the same song that they were using at the Halloween party at the castle in Disney World before they switched over to the Sanderson sisters. And it's really great. It's a really wonderful song and lends itself well to a parade that's moving forward and marching onward. It's got a really good energy to it.
It's Halloween, Halloween, everybody.
It's really great. It's really fun. I love the Disney World one, though. It's
Sure.
really classic and iconic and a lot cuter.
Yeah.
This one is a little bit more villain heavy.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah.
The characters are wonderful. There are characters that you don't see in Disney World that you do see in Disneyland and vice versa. So they both have their pluses and minuses, and both are great, I think. What about you? Have you seen both?
No, I've only seen the parade in Disneyland.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
You'll have to see the Disney World one and tell me what you think.
Yeah, I'm excited to experience that party as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
We also got to experience Villains Grove at Oogie Boogie Bash. Patrick, how would you explain Villains Grove?
I don't know how to explain it, Adam. You give me your best attempt at explaining it because it's different. It's something that I've never seen Disney do before.
I would say it's kind of like a meditation on villainy. It's a walkthrough experience.
It's a think piece.
Yeah, it is, though, with lighting special effects and a lot of fog.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like you're wandering through the minds of the villains because you kind of hear them in an echoey, kind of mysterious way.
Sort of their inner monologue.
Yeah.
If it were projected into your own head.
Right, exactly. That's exactly right. It's very artistic, very beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think it's kind of like you are confronted with what it means to be a villain and kind of the darkness and beauty behind it. And at the end, you're given this choice of whether you're going to become a villain or become a good person or be a good person.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't you think that's what the log meant? Like when you climbed through the log?
I mean, you didn't really have an option
I guess
other than to go through the log.
Walk around the log.
Yeah, I guess you could have. None of us did that, but
That's what I got out of it anyway.
Sure. I think it needed a little fine-tuning in the storytelling of it.
Okay.
Or the explanation of like what you're in for.
Yeah.
But the effects were really, really beautiful. We were saying as we got out of it that we're glad that we did it. But had I had small children waiting maybe about a half hour, right, to get into it,
yeah.
I would have been disappointed because I don't think the kids got anything out of it.
Right. You didn't see any actual villains. Like there were no villains in costume.
Just suggestions of the villains.
That's right.
Yeah, so it was a little over the heads of a lot of kids.
I was into it.
Yeah, oh, me too, for sure.
It's really beautiful.
For sure. I was just at the height level that you can be for that ride.
We also got to experience World of Color Villainous, and this is the party-specific World of Color show.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think of Villainous?
It was cute.
Yeah, that's
cute.
That's the perfect way to sum it up.
Yeah, it was nice. It was a nice attempt at what they are going for. I don't know if they've ever done that show before. I'm thinking they haven't.
It's new for this year, yeah.
I could see them putting that show on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
And it being a success.
Right.
And cute and something to watch every year on Halloween.
Uh-huh.
But it did not translate very well onto the water and what they can do with World of Color.
Yeah.
They didn't do with this show.
It's almost like they did too much with it. I like it when World of Color goes more abstract.
Yes.
And we should tell everybody out there that we actually saw Villainous before we saw World of Color, and I'm grateful for that now.
Same here.
Because had I seen World of Color first, I would have had all these expectations for what Villainous would have been.
Yes.
And I would have been let down, I think.
I will say, what they are doing with the animation onto the water is outstanding.
Yeah.
It looks like you're watching on a TV screen.
Right.
Like it's so specific and detailed. So that's really great, but it didn't need to happen on the water.
Right.
It could have just been on a screen anywhere in the park.
Yeah.
So I was expecting more of a spectacle for the end of the night show, and this was just sort of a letdown compared to the rest of the party. That being said, it was nice.
Sure.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It wasn't a disappointment necessarily.
Right.
But it was less than the rest of the party.
Sticking with seasonal offerings, but then moving over to Disneyland, our last night there, we got to experience Halloween Screams fireworks.
We sure did.
What'd you think about those?
I really liked it. It was really great. These fireworks, basically, if you've been to the Halloween party in Walt Disney World at the Magic Kingdom, it's kind of lifted from that. It's it's a smaller version. It is narrated by Jack and Zero, which is really cute. There's this really amazing animatronic Zero that flies around the castle. Really well done, worth seeing almost just for that alone.
Right, yeah.
But it is kind of the same track that firework experience follows, which is great, and you don't have to pay for it.
That's true.
It's not extra.
That's true.
What did you think of it?
I'm more of a fan of like old school fireworks shows.
Sure.
So I like this. Like I like Happily Ever After. But sometimes I find my attention divided between looking at the castle and looking at the fireworks. And I just like to like look up and just see big, beautiful fireworks. And I like a lot of them.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
I like that kind of fireworks show. And this is more of that kind of fireworks show.
So you should watch Happily Ever After from behind the castle.
I have.
Because then you'll just get the soundtrack and the fireworks.
I have. Yeah, I really liked it.
It actually is kind of fun.
Yeah.
You don't need the projection to have a good time at it.
Yeah. I mean, the projection's amazing. Of course it's amazing.
Yes.
But I think that we lose fireworks in order to focus on the projections on the castle. there aren't as many fireworks going on because you're focused on the projections on the castle.
Sure. And I think that's something that Disneyland is working in their favor because they have less space. They have to be more inventive.
Yeah.
And so what they do is very thought out and specific. Whereas Disney World, they can kind of just go bonkers.
Right.
With the technology.
Right.
And they do, and they should, rightfully so, because they have all this canvas to work with. Whereas Disneyland, there's such limited space that they are really thought out in what they're doing for you.
Plus, I think they just don't want to take down those trees in the hub. They could have projections on the castle.
That's true.
But, those trees in the hub are part of the park's history.
Yeah.
And so I think those are just going to be there. There's going to be lights in them. They're going to be beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
And fireworks shows will be above the castle.
I didn't mind them at all.
Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's move on to the main reason we were there, which was to experience Gay Days.
Oh, I thought you were going to say food again.
Oh, yeah. Going back to food. Again.
Mm-hmm.
So there were Gay Days events going on, basically Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
We were there Friday and Saturday.
Yes.
And in particular, we experienced Gay Days in the parks in Disneyland on Saturday.
Yes.
What did you think about that experience?
I really enjoyed myself. It was such a different experience than what we had in Disney World.
That's right.
And that's just because of its own mess that happened this year with Gay Days in the parks at Disney World. So hopefully next year that'll be back on track with what we experienced in Disneyland, which was a celebration, a community gathering, and it was really moving. I found myself tearing up a little bit sometimes during the day, knowing what was going on and that we're kind of part of history in this movement to be seen and to be recognized as an LGBTQ community.
A sea of red.
A sea of red.
So many red shirts.
Yeah.
It was fabulous to see that.
It was really wonderful.
And to acknowledge each other in the parks.
Yes.
And have that be part of your experience and being in a place that you truly love.
Yes.
With your brothers and sisters and having that kind of connection, not only with your location, but with each other.
Mm-hmm.
It was something I'll never forget.
Something that really struck me was that as gay people, we are often self-taught to hide sometimes, to sort of be gay and be proud, but not all the time. Like, be gay when you feel comfortable being gay.
Right.
And there was something really wonderful about everybody wearing their pride on their sleeve. You cannot ignore us. We are here. And to be cliche, get used to it. You know what I mean? Like, we are taking over the park today, and that's fine. And nobody seemed to have a problem with it.
Right.
It felt really supportive. A lot of the cast members, even the night before, were asking when Gay Days was because they were excited about it. They were ready for it to happen.
Yeah.
That was really moving to me. I felt very safe.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Being out and loud and proud, which I'm not always. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not always wearing my gay on my sleeve. Sometimes we sort of put it in our pocket for a little bit. And it was really wonderful to not have to do that for a full day.
So there were several events, community gatherings throughout the day, things that you could experience together.
Mm-hmm.
And one of those things was the Big Red Boat. And that is basically when all of the red shirts can gather on the Mark Twain riverboat and go on a riverboat cruise together.
Yes, such a fun experience.
And we did that.
We sure did.
But something happened.
Some magic happened.
As we were waiting for the boat to leave the dock, the captain of the boat came out to us. We were actually in a group of 4. It was me and Patrick and our listener, Jared, who you can find on Instagram at Evil Queen SF, and his partner. And we were invited to come up to the captain's quarters. And we got to steer the ship and have that experience in the captain's quarters.
It was so amazing and unexpected.
Yeah.
I didn't know that they did that.
Yeah.
And I have to say, when it first happened, he was just sort of, hey, do you guys want to come with me for a magical experience? And we were like, what does that mean? We're
Gay Days.
We're on Gay Days. What are we? You going to throw us off the ship? What's going on? And then he just knocks on this door that's there that you don't really notice it's there. And it opens up and you're in this private captain's quarters with, there's like a little cute little bed. It's like a little set that's there.
Yeah.
There's a picture of Walt Disney on the wall. And then you climb up these little stairs and there is the ship's wheel and the bell and the steam horn, I guess I don't know what it's called.
Whistle?
The steam whistle. Yeah, of course that's what it's called. And you have this beautiful aerial view of the entire trip and all of Disneyland while you're on the ship.
It was completely surreal. I am having chills right now thinking about it. And also, it's like all hazy to me. Like, I remember the trip. I remember you pulling the whistle. We got to sign the book in the captain's quarters, which once filled will be put into the Disney archives. That was an incredible experience to know that our signatures and messages would be in the Disney archives.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then after the trip itself, he was sure to tell us that this is one spot that you know for sure that Walt Disney himself stood many times and captained, and I believe he captained for the very first inaugural voyage of this ship. It was so magical. All of us, when he said that to us, were like, I need a minute. I'm going to cry a little bit. It was a truly, truly magical moment for us.
And on top of that, you end the experience by getting a certificate. The captain signs a certificate saying that you were basically steering the riverboat that day.
Yeah.
And it's just a great memento to have. And honestly, I'll never forget that experience as long as I live.
It was such a simple moment that took no effort out of his day to do, yet it meant the world to us. So we have to give a huge shout out to Anthony, who was the captain of the ship, who brought us up there. He was phenomenal and so friendly and so knowledgeable and answered all of our questions and made us feel at home there.
Thank you, Anthony.
Thank you.
Before we move on to what we bought and who we met.
Or who we bought and what we met.
What we met.
Uh-oh.
Oh, dear. We should talk about where we stayed.
Yeah.
So we stayed at the Best Western Plus Park Place Inn, and that was on South Harbor Boulevard.
Yeah.
Which is basically right across the entrance to the Disneyland resort area.
You could throw a baby and hit Disneyland.
And why wouldn't you throw a baby?
Yeah, I did a couple of times on this trip.
What did you think of the hotel, Patrick?
It was fine. It was a basic hotel experience. The room was actually pretty nice.
Yeah.
The shower was fine. It was just a basic room. It was a comfortable bed. We got to watch Facts of Life in the morning.
Our hotel stay included a complimentary breakfast.
Did it, though?
Sort of.
Well, we paid for it.
It was held at Captain Kidd's, which is the restaurant right next door to the hotel. In the upstairs, they offer a complimentary breakfast every morning to hotel guests.
Yeah.
That included hot food items.
Warm.
That's being generous. Warm food items.
Yeah.
And then there was an assortment of cold food items like cereal, yogurt, pastry, things like that. It was free.
It was monetarily free.
The hot food items, maybe you can take a hard pass on.
A lot of ambiguous words like patty or egg. Was it egg?
Egg product.
Who can say?
And listen, we're not food snobs. We will eat almost anything.
I will put many things in my mouth over and over again, but I don't know that I would put Captain Kidd's food in my mouth again.
So if you are going to be staying at the Best Western Plus Park Place Inn, maybe just opt for the cold breakfast items.
Sure, grab a Chobani.
Yeah.
Grab a banana.
Yep.
Grab your neighbor.
Okay.
And grab a coffee.
And then head out onto the park.
That's right.
But as far as location, it honestly cannot be beat.
That's absolutely right.
I've stayed at the Disneyland Hotel, and that is farther away from the entrance of the parks than this hotel was.
That's true, because you have to go through downtown Disney to get to the parks, whereas this is literally across the street from the entrance to Disneyland and DCA.
I mean, hotel to park entrance was probably less than 5 minutes for us to walk.
Absolutely, and that's including a traffic light stop.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about what we bought.
Oh, goodness.
What'd you buy, Patrick?
I went into this trip going, you know what? I'm going to get a pin. I'm going to call it a day.
Yeah, right.
And 3 minutes into the trip, I was like, I need that, and I need that, and I need that. It was a mess. I was a monster. I was a gift monster.
I thought you were pretty restrained, actually, because there were big ticket items that you said you needed right away that you actually said, you know what, I'm going to hold off.
It's true.
I was proud of you on that front.
It's true.
But as the trip went on, you did get a little grabby.
Yeah.
A little handsy.
And that's not even with the merch.
So what did you buy?
I bought a couple of pins for myself.
Yes.
I was sure to get the iconic Disneyland D pin.
Smart purchase.
Everyone needs a D.
Yep.
So I bought myself a little D.
Yeah.
I got a couple of T-shirts. I got a Spirit jersey, a Disneyland black and white Spirit jersey.
Classic.
So comfortable, too.
Yeah.
I am a Spirit jersey enthusiast now. I never thought I would be, but here I am.
Only tops, no bottoms.
That's exactly correct. I also got, and we searched high and low for this, I almost put an end to our vacation and to Disneyland itself if I didn't find it, the Arendelle Aqua Mickey Mouse sweatshirt.
Right.
Which is so pretty. I love it so much. And I don't say that about shirts that I wear a lot. It's pretty.
Right.
But it is really pretty.
A pretty blouse.
It is a nice, sensible blouse.
That color is so flattering on every person.
Yeah.
And I love that it was Disneyland specific. Like it has Disneyland going up the arm.
Yeah.
And it's just a really kind of fun take on the classic Mickey Mouse design.
Absolutely. It has sort of almost a metallic image of Mickey Mouse in that Arendelle aqua color.
Yeah.
It's really, really beautiful.
Yeah.
What about you? What did you get?
Well, I also got a couple of T-shirts. I got myself a T-shirt, and I got my boyfriend Matthew a T-shirt.
That's right.
Just a classic kind of Disneyland logo T-shirt for me that has Disneyland running down the front in several different colors.
Yeah, sort of the tiered logo running down the front.
I love it. I also got a Disneyland Pride pin. It's the castle covered in rainbow jewels.
Oh, that's
And it says Disneyland below it.
You're so gay.
I really love it.
Good for you.
It marked our Gay Days trip. And then one thing I didn't buy but was gifted Patrick.
What?
Patrick got me a I said if pin, and it's Lady Tremaine. And below it says I said if. I saw that pin probably on day one, like really soon into our trip, and I was obsessed with it. Every time I saw it, I was like, I love this pin. And lo and behold, one night Patrick just threw it at my face and was like, here.
That's exactly what happened. Take this.
So thank you, my friend. I love that pin, and I appreciate it and will always cherish it.
Oh, you're so welcome. You are someone who self-identifies as memories, not merch. But seeing you latch on to any piece of merch, I was like, well, he's not going to get it for himself, so he has to have this.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes.
It was $7.99. You can. I'm just kidding.
All right, let's move on to who we met, because the list is extensive. We need to talk about all of the new friends we made.
We met so many people at Disneyland.
We did.
I was overwhelmed.
Fantastic time.
Yeah. So here's the thing, kids. We met so many people where you don't have the time to sort of go through the experience of meeting them, but we want to be sure to give them a shout out.
Yes.
And maybe just a quick blurb.
Oh, yeah.
But thank you in advance to everyone that we met. You were so kind and so generous of spirit. It was a really emotional time for us to meet so many Tweedledees and some new Tweedledees in the parks as well.
Yes.
So let's start with maybe one of my favorite encounters was Fred, who is a custodial worker. We met him right outside of Indiana Jones. And he noticed, I believe, my Mickey rainbow ears and then noticed our T-shirts and stopped us and was like, hey, are you guys here for Gay Days? Fred, I believe, is 76 years old.
Yes.
And had some amazing stories about how he, as a heterosexual man, really embraces the gay culture and believes that everyone gets to live their life the way they want to live it. And it was just so beautiful. I could have talked to him all day long.
Fabulous guy, Fred.
Thank you so much, Fred. We had a wonderful time talking to you.
We met Matt and Sam of Shimmer Pop Shop, which you can find on Instagram at Shimmer Pop Shop.
We ran into Cole, who we mentioned earlier on in the episode, who is a cast member at DCA. We met him right away going into Oogie Boogie's Bash.
We spent all of Oogie Boogie Bash with our friends Eric and Tamara.
Yes.
And we have to say thank you so much, Eric and Tamara, for letting us tag along with you.
It was so wonderful.
Eric can be found on Instagram at EricJames_, and Tamara can be found on Instagram at Child of Avalon.
They are a treat to meet. So if you ever get to meet them or reach out to them on Instagram, please do so because they are delightful human beings. We ran into Brittany and Kyle a couple of times on our trip.
Yes.
Both times during meals.
That's right.
They are really in sync with us.
I felt bad that we didn't get a picture with them.
Oh, we didn't.
But it's because we were eating. We were eating meals. And
that's true. That's true.
We were like carrying trays, and you wanted to be like,
yeah,
hey,
that's
can
right.
We get a picture?
But they were as nice can be.
Great people.
They both have a social club called Tomorrowland Ravagers Social Club, and they can be found on Instagram at Tomorrowland Ravagers_SC.
We also met Poppy. It was her first trip to Walt Disney World.
Oh, that's right. Right after Goofy's Kitchen.
Yes.
She was delightful. We ran into Paul and Doug, who are new Patreon patrons.
That's right.
Paul can be found on Instagram at jpaulfindlay.
The best guys.
They were really wonderful. We kept saying after we ran into them, we met them twice in the parks, luckily enough, that they are two people that we can see just sitting down with and getting a drink with and talking to all night long.
Absolutely. We met a cast member named Vince in Batu. Hello, Vince.
Hi, Vince. We met Rob and Jim and David at the Gay Days welcome cocktail reception, and Rob's Instagram is at zippity-doo-dah-days.
Frequent commenter on the podcast.
That's right.
Patrick, while you were in line getting a beer at one point, I had the privilege of meeting Brian and Elenis, and Brian has his own podcast called Spilling the Frijoles podcast.
I like
They're a
it.
very sweet couple. Hello, Brian and Elenis.
Frijoles, I believe, means beans, doesn't it?
It does.
Over in Tomorrowland, we ran into a listener, Eric, who had previously emailed us And he is on Facebook, Eric Applegate. He wrote into us a while ago asking about a parks meetup. So we randomly got to meet up with Eric in the parks.
We also met Scott and Dennis in the Castle Holiday Shop. Hello, Scott and Dennis.
And we already mentioned, but we have to give them another shout out, Jared and Mark, who we got to go on the riverboat ride with. We're so fantastic to hang out with. I wish we had more time with you. Hopefully, again, soon. Jared, I believe we have a picture of this online, right? He took one of our GDTD t-shirts and bedazzled the ever-loving life out of it. I love it so much. I want to buy it from you. I almost stole it from you. He can be found on Instagram at evilqueensf.
We finally got to meet longtime listeners Kelvin and Ben.
Yeah.
Kelvin, one of our Canada Ds.
Canada D.
One of our Canada Tweedledees.
That's right, eh?
Kelvin can be found on Instagram at Kelvin in Wonderland, and Ben can be found on Instagram at BJW Brooks.
Such charming gentlemen. While we were waiting for our lunch reservation at Cafe Orleans, we ran into a gaggle of gays by the names of Daniel and Kenneth, Bobby and Michael and Ryan.
We also got to meet new Tweedledee Julie and her friends who were in Disneyland for a girls' trip.
They were having the time of their lives.
Those ladies. You want to hang out with those ladies.
Oh, yeah. They were whooping it up.
Julie can be found on Instagram at Daisy's Mom 2018.
They were so delightful. We ran into a gentleman named Michael at the Lamplight Lounge, and he told us a really fun story about the picture in front of the castle. And I think he can be found in pretty much the front of the photo if you look at the Gay Days photo in front of the castle.
That same visit to Lamplight Lounge, we got to meet longtime Gays to the D listener Daniel, who can be found on Instagram at DancoDirect. And we had a lovely time getting to know Daniel. He is a fantastic guy.
Yeah, I hope we get to meet him again someday. He's currently in a production of The Drowsy Chaperone at a community theater in California. While we were waiting in line for Monsters, Inc., we met Rosa, who is a brand new Tweedledee. She has two Instagram handles. One is Twins of Disneyland, and the other is at Baby Mouseketeer. Love that name.
Another longtime listener and commenter we got to meet was Mario, and you can find Mario on Instagram at Mespinai, and Mario also runs Diamond in the Rough Clothing Co. You can find him on Instagram at Diamond in the Rough Clothing Co. He has fabulous designs, Disney-based designs, t-shirts,
jackets.
It's all fantastic.
I need that Roger Rabbit jacket.
I know you do.
Again, I almost stole it right off of him. We also met longtime listener and frequent commenter Rodri, who is at Rod Meets World. We got to have a little food and drink with him at DCA. He is full of Disney knowledge.
And last but not least, we got to meet listener JJ and his husband Andrew and their adorable daughter Maya. We met them at DCA, and later at Halloween Screams Fireworks, they actually held a spot for us so that we could all watch Halloween Screams Fireworks together.
That was such a magical moment that they did that. That was so unnecessary and generous. And thank you, because that was my first time seeing those fireworks, and I couldn't have had a better experience.
JJ can be found on Instagram at JSquare3.
Thanks, guys. Thank you so much, everybody who we got to meet in the parks. It was truly a privilege for us, and especially for you, as Tweedledees. No, of course I'm kidding. Mostly kidding.
Oh, no.
If we didn't mention your name, I'm sure that we met some people that we totally forgot to write your name down. Right. So sorry about it. Be more memorable. What?
So to sum up, Patrick.
Yeah.
Give me your case for going to Disneyland.
Oh.
And give me your case for going to Disney World. Like, not a comparison of the parks.
Yeah.
I just want to know your reason for visiting the domestic parks.
Well, whichever one we're in that particular day is the one that you should visit, because we offer a lot.
Enough said.
Yep.
Yeah.
The end. No, I think if you're on a shorter trip and you have limited time, Disneyland is the place for you. You can do almost everything in a day, if not a day and a half. We did everything we could do maybe 3 or 4 times, and we were there Wednesday through Saturday. I think Disneyland is serving you nostalgia.
Yeah.
It's serving you villain heavy.
Yeah. I mean, it's Halloween, but yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I think even in general, it felt like Disneyland is not afraid to embrace the darkness a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit muddier when it comes to character experiences in a really good way.
You made a really excellent point while we were there about character encounters.
Well, I'm very wise, Adam.
Yeah.
So here it is. It feels like in Disney World, Mickey Mouse is sort of the mayor of Disney World.
Yeah.
Right? Everything is very Mickey Mouse focused. Not that it's not in Disneyland, but I think Disneyland is more about the community of characters together as one, where you will not find characters from different movies interacting in Disney World. You will find that quite often in Disneyland, where it seems like they all live in the same village.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Whereas in Disney World, it's very compartmentalized. Both offer very different experiences. There's a comfort in knowing at Disney World, if I want to meet Rapunzel, I know exactly where I can meet her and when. In Disneyland, it's anyone's guess where Rapunzel might show up.
Right.
Which adds a very different magic to it. That is a very distinct difference between the two character-wise.
Yeah, if you're talking characters specifically, if you're a planner, you're going to want to go to Disney World because you'll be able to find those characters where you want them, when you want them.
Yeah.
But if you like to be surprised by characters, Disneyland is going to be your jam because there were so many times where we'd turn a corner this trip and suddenly there's Rapunzel talking to Maleficent and you're like, what's going on?
Literally happened. It was really cool to see.
Yeah, so I think that's a great way to sum it up, Patrick.
If you're in it for the long haul, if you have like a week for a vacation, Disney World might be more your jam because there is so much to do.
Right.
You will never not have something to do in Disney World. There's a ton of character experiences. There's a ton of rides. It's all spread out, and it's very visually appealing as well. It's laid out and signed very well. It's a package that they're offering you, whereas Disneyland, I think, is a little bit more of a free-for-all.
Yeah.
Well, what about you? How would you offer up both as a vacation?
I think you've actually summed it up very well.
Well, again, I'm very wise.
I know. I think if you want the bubble, if you never want to have to leave the bubble,
that's perfect. Yeah,
Disney World is probably where you're going to want to go because once you're on the resort, you're surrounded by forest and land, and you're in that world.
You're never not immersed in it.
Right.
Yeah.
Disneyland can also offer a bubble of sorts, but eventually it's going to burst, right? Like either you're going to have to walk across a highway to get to your hotel if you're staying in one of the Good Neighbor hotels, or even if you're staying at the Disneyland Hotel or the Grand Californian, you're going to have to go through downtown Disney, which can be a little bit more adult or a little bit more, bar friendly, drink friendly.
Yep.
So I think if you're looking for that complete bubble, head to Disney World. I think if you're looking for, like you said, nostalgia and a little bit more of a surprise and a little bit more of an unstructured Disney experience, head to Disneyland. But I mean, head to both, right? Ultimately, go to both domestic parks.
For sure.
Experience it all because they both have their pluses and their minuses, but ultimately they're both just wonderful experiences.
One thing that Disney World did not offer that I never saw there is the weird parrot man on the corner outside of the gates of Disneyland who was offering to touch his parrot.
Yeah.
And that's unsettling.
Yeah.
That's something you can't buy.
Yeah, but I think you're going to miss that at the Wine and Dine half marathon, Patrick.
Couldn't you just picture him running with his birds?
I can picture him running with his birds.
He might do it.
He might be there.
I would not put it past him.
And you'll be right behind him.
I will.
Screaming, "Let me touch your birds!"
I've said that so many times. So many times. So in closing, Adam, we have a call to action for our Tweedledees out there.
Yes.
Let us know what we didn't mention. What are some big things in Disneyland that we forgot to talk about or that maybe we didn't do? Because we are going to go back. Hopefully we can get there annually for Gay Days because it was such a wonderful experience. And if you are lucky enough to have been to both parks, Disney World and Disneyland/DCA, let us know your thoughts about the differences, some comparisons, what you might like better in one park versus another, or your case as we laid out for going to each of the parks.
You can reach out to us on social media at GDTD Podcast.
And you can always email us at info@gaysdothed.com. And don't forget, you can always leave us a voice memo also at info@gaysdothed.com. So, Adam, everyone wants to know what your favorite memory of me was on this trip to Disneyland. What? Listeners are demanding to know.
I think a real Patrick highlight for me on this trip was our game of snaps.
Oh no, you're spilling our tea.
Basically, every time we saw an attractive gentleman, whoever snapped first got him. And
boy, are my fingers tired.
Hey, Patrick.
Hey, Adam. That was my Britney Spears impression.
From what?
Hey, Britney.
Oh, okay.
The Madonna Britney.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Mashup.
Yeah.
Wow, you're not as gay as I thought you were. For being on a podcast called Gays Do the D. Gay does the
This
D.
whole thing has been a lie.
Just one gay does the D. And the other one, not so much.
It might be a better concept, a straight and a gay, hosting a Disney podcast.
I like it.
I'm considering my
Your departure?
my sinuality.
Oh, got it.
Oh, Patrick, do you know what time it is, Patrick?
I don't.
Yeah, because we're on California time. And
I don't know. Yeah. 6:30?
That's right.
Got
It's
it.
actually Quick D time, Patrick.
Hooray.
Yes. For those of you that don't know, Quick D is when Patrick and I ask each other a question we have not been privy to prior to recording, and we answer it off the cuff.
Correct.
This week we are doing Quick D Classic, which means that we're just asking each other a question, just like I explained. I'm not going to explain it again.
OGD.
Yeah, OGD. I love that, Patrick.
Yeah, you know me.
So am I going first or are you going first?
I'll ask you first.
Okay, that sounds great.
All right, here's my D.
All right. Oh.
Hey, Adam.
Yeah.
In light of recent gondola tragedy,
Yes.
some Skyliner mishaps have happened.
Yeah.
Gays Do the D is offering up a Skyliner survival package,
Okay.
a kit to get you through 3 hours of swinging in the air, never knowing when you're coming down.
It sounds like
Sounds like a trip. Sounds like a drug trip at a gay bar.
sounds like a sex dungeon. Yeah.
What's in that pack? What's in our GDTD survival kit
Okay.
for the Skyliner?
Well, you got to stay hydrated, so a big old bottle of vodka is going to be
Great.
tucked in there with some mixers, probably like some soda,
Sensible.
some limes, some pre-cut limes.
That's true.
in
Vodka
the
soda
kit.
is gay water.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You don't need all those carbs while you're hanging in the gondola.
Wait, are you putting limes and lemons in a survival kit?
Yeah.
It's just going to sit up there in the sun?
Well, also scurvy.
Okay, great.
So you're covering scurvy too.
Perfect. Health codes be damned.
That's right.
Okay.
Hand sanitizer,
Great.
lube.
Well, that's just sensible. You don't know who you're going to be in that gondola with.
When I associate hand sanitizer and lube together, I feel burny, and I don't like that. So let's keep them as separate as possible. Okay.
A lot of people feel burning after
Yeah.
the usage of lube.
Yep. Wait, what? Oh, I got it.
Uh-oh.
STD. I got it.
Uh-huh.
Okay. You're probably going to get a little peckish while you're up there.
Absolutely.
And I'm not talking about using lube again. I'm talking about
No.
being hungry.
That's right. I can't go more than 10 minutes without a snack.
That's right. What do gays eat?
Vodka sodas.
Oh, that's right. I guess that's where the limes come into play, too.
Yeah.
You eat the limes as well.
That's right. Some olives maybe for a martini.
I mean, if it's me specifically, like
Yeah.
a gay Adam kit, there's going to be a lot of desserts in there. Like
Got
a
it.
full carrot cake will come out of that. It's going to be like Mary Poppins' bag when she opens it up. It's like carrot cake,
Yep,
a
yep.
pan of brownies.
I like it.
But for the standard gay,
Sure.
just the limes. Okay? Because I know you're all body conscious out there.
Yeah, you're right.
There's also going to be some lip balm and some eye concealer and an ID puffer because when you get a little stressed, sometimes you get a little puffy. And you're going to want to keep your cool and keep looking cool.
This is just the most sensible pack I can think of.
Yeah. I think a complete change of clothing, like an evening outfit, if it's an evening, like maybe like a nice top
Yeah.
and some culottes.
A Skyliner reveal.
Yeah,
I like
why
that.
not? So, yeah, because everyone will have seen you go into the Skyliner, but won't it be a surprise when you come out via the Reedy Creek Fire Department fire bucket? When they're pulling you out, you're suddenly wearing a new outfit.
With a floor-length gown.
Surprise.
Oh, I like that idea.
And last but not least, a mini disco ball that you can hang from the
Oh.
ceiling of the Skyliner.
Of course.
While you're stuck in there.
Mm-hmm.
And then an MP3 player just full of Cher's greatest hits.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're trapped,
Yeah.
you have your change of your outfit
That's right.
and you have some tunes.
Of course.
Why not enjoy that experience? You have your cocktails. You basically created your own gay bar.
A little mini discotheque.
Why not?
I am in love with this idea.
Thank you. Don't you want to get trapped on the Skyliner now?
I only want that.
3 hours. Give me 8 hours in that Skyliner. 8 hours, please.
Careful what you wish for.
Don't. I won't. I don't want that.
I won't survive.
I don't want it.
Nope.
I do not want that.
I will not believe in love after that.
All right, Patrick, it's my turn to ask you a question.
Yeah.
And here is your question.
Hit me with it.
All right. Your husband, Dan, has left you.
Oh, dear. probably will happen. So you're projecting days in the future.
Just days, mere days in the future. He has left you for one of the Harry Potter rides at Universal, which has become a person.
That seems right.
So the ride has turned into a person.
Got it.
Anthropomorphic.
Yeah.
Anthropomorphic.
Wow. Wow.
Anthropomorphic.
You nailed it.
There we go. Anthropomorphic ride.
Yeah.
All right. It's become a person.
Yeah.
To get back at him,
Okay.
you are going to also date a ride that has become a person.
Oh.
What ride in Disneyland has become a person and has become your man? And what is that man ride like?
Wow.
Give me his personality.
Great question.
Thank you.
Not weird at all. Lends itself to humor.
I think so.
Listen, I am fully investing my new love life and sexual life
Yes.
into the Matterhorn.
I thought this might be your answer.
Yeah, man.
All right. So his name is Matt.
It is.
Matt Horn.
Yeah, it is Matt Horn. Boy, does his name live up.
Oh, my.
That horn, though.
Is it curved?
As a matter of fact,
Okay.
it is straight as an arrow.
Okay.
But he is full of lots of shoots.
Oh,
Yep, lots of twists and turns,
great.
curves and bobs.
Yep. What does he look like?
He's white and hairy
Yeah.
with the eyes of an emerald
Oh,
seductress.
okay.
Hmm.
You went with a feminine there.
And he screams a lot.
Okay, yeah.
He loves to pound those walls.
Oof.
Bangs right in those walls.
Oh, my.
Yeah, you know what's happening behind that glass door.
Okay.
We're getting mad or horny.
What does he do for a living?
Not a whole lot.
Okay.
Not a whole lot. He's more of a stay-at-home husband. He's a houseboy.
Okay. A hairy white houseboy.
A hairy white, eyes of emerald.
Yeah.
Emerald?
Yeah.
Why am I saying emerald?
I don't know, but
You went with me on that one.
I did.
I clearly meant ruby.
yes, and.
Yes, and emerald.
Okay, rubies. Ruby
Rubies.
eyes.
Yep. He keeps the house at a cool 62 degrees. And there's a lot of slip and slides
Yeah.
in the home.
Uh-huh.
He's adventurous,
Yeah.
you might say.
Yeah. How did you meet?
We met on Expedition Everest,
Oh,
of all places.
sure.
It was a Yeti for Yeti app that I was on.
Are you saying you're a Yeti?
I identify as Yeti,
Okay.
and of the two that I saw, this one actually moves and works. And so I went with this one. And I'll tell you what, we're happy.
That's all I wish for you, my friend.
Thank you.
I wish for you to be happy
Yeah.
with your attraction turned new boyfriend, Matter Horny.
Yeah.
Horn? Matterhorn?
Matt Horn.
With his ruby red eyes.
Ruby, not emerald eyes.
Not emerald eyes.
His screaming and his pounding.
Yes. Oh.
And he doesn't have to be replaced by Joe Rohde. Joe, if you're listening, please replace that Yeti.
It's time.
It's time. No one will date it. That will do it for this episode of Gays Do the D. Thanks for listening. To become a patron of the podcast, visit our website at gaysdothed.com/donate. For a donation of any amount, you can receive exclusive Gays Do the D content and help us continue to bring you the very best Disney news and discussion. Continue the conversation after this episode on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at GDTD Podcast. Submit your questions or show ideas to info@gaysdothed.com. Have a great week, everybody. See ya real soon.